This is from a full day's use, and that shows how little it does transfer. And welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing mask and makeup tips and tricks. So these things have become very normal in our lives, and it is a nightmare when you want to wear makeup because you end up getting it brushed off here, here, here and here. I end up walking around with a little red nose. Now at my job, my mask is on and off all day, so I want this area of my face to still look reasonable as I am continually taking it off as well as wearing it. I can't just have this part of my face with makeup and this without, because that would look silly when I take the mask off. So I wanted to share with you a few little tips and tricks that I've picked up. So this has now become my everyday working makeup routine. First off, Tinted Moisturizer. That is going to be a game changer for you and wearing a mask and keeping your skin looking good, because obviously, as well as the appearance, you want to look after your skin. I don't know whether anyone else has found this, but oh my goodness, since all this mask wearing, I now get spots here and here, and I never ever used to get spots in those areas. I would primarily get spots down here, which I think I've been led to believe that that's a very hormonal place to get them. But yeah, I keep getting them on my top lip, which is very annoying. Tinted Moisturizer is great because it's got SPF in it, it's moisturizing your skin, which is obviously brilliant over winter, and it just gives it a bit of color. Now this one gradually gets darker and darker and darker, and you do need to make sure that you put it down on your neck as well, otherwise you will get lines. I'm gonna put a little bit more of that on this lower part of my face where the mask goes. The tinted moisturizer I use is Avon Nutra Effects, and it's got an SPF of 20 in it, and that will continue to get darker over the next kind of hour really. That is your base. It gives you a bit of color, it's got SPF in it, and it's moisturizing your skin, and it's just gonna even out your skin tone. And obviously a moisturizer is very mask resistant, so that is step one. Step two, take your foundation. I have not been using concealer because concealer is very white, and if you were to wear a white concealer under your eyes and not cover your face in foundation, it's gonna be obvious and it's gonna look really weird. So I then do a dot of my normal foundation on my eyes and just on my cheeks here. It's important to use your normal foundation as the colour matches the rest of your skin. We're not going to put a full face of foundation on. We're now just going to use our fingers to tap that in around this cheek area and lightly on your nose as well. I'm trying to achieve a natural face of makeup. I'm using my skin's natural tones just to blend out and disguise any blemishes that there might be. Now, if you then take the foundation any further, you're gonna notice this when you're taking your mask on and off. So just lightly tap it round and it will blend in with the tinted moisturizer. Already you can see it's not a full face of makeup, but my skin the blemishes have flattened, I've got a little bit of colour in my skin, and the only transfer you're going to get slightly is on the tip of your nose and here, but the foundation is so light and mixed in with the moisturiser that is minimal. Next up, we're going straight in with my Revolution Contour Powder Palette. It's quite important to use powder because we haven't got a massive base of foundation. Powder's a little bit more subtle and it's easier to manipulate. So I'm going for the lightest shade here. Again, we're really trying to play on your skin's natural tones, and you haven't actually got foundation on this part of your skin, so you're literally trying to heighten the effect of contour on your face without applying as much makeup as you typically would. So I'm going to pop a little bit there. I then still line my nose slightly. I find my nose makes all the difference with applying this amount of minimal makeup. If your nose is slightly contoured and highlighted, it really takes away from the fact that you have not actually got your face covered in foundation. The next bit I'm going to do is just here, a line there a line there, and a line there. So we're really just playing on the natural shadows of your face. And this powder, even if it does transfer, is not gonna be anywhere near as obvious as having a full face of makeup on. The next thing I'm gonna do is take a slightly darker brown and just use that to bronze up a little bit. So up here, bringing that down, and just out around here a tiny little bit. And you can strengthen that jawline as well if you would please. You can also see that the Tinted Moisturizer is getting darker now. So I'm gonna blend this out. This is probably the most natural makeup look that I've ever managed to achieve, but it makes me feel so much better at work, and it also means that when I'm walking around with a mask on, I'm not walking around like this, trying not to move to avoid makeup transfer. I can just be a little bit more relaxed and know that I still look decent when I take my mask off. And you can really see the colour is starting to come through now. Right, let's just blend in my little lip bits a bit. Okie dokie. Now we're gonna go in with some highlighter. I'm using this highlighter here. You don't want to use anything very white or gold because that takes away from your natural skin tone. This is very close to my natural skin tone, and so it will blend in nicely and probably just catch the light. I'm not gonna walk around looking majorly highlighted, but if it catches the light, there will be a little bit of natural looking highlight just to give my face a tiny bit of shine. I'm also gonna take that down on my nose here and on my forehead. You're basically catching most of the areas that you have not darkened up with bronze. I am then gonna take this very white one and very lightly dab my finger on it and just touch the tip of my nose. Normally, if I was doing a full makeup look, I'd do a lot more than that, but you literally just do the tiniest little touch to give it a very natural shine. And I'm also gonna do the same on my lips, on my cupid's bow, and carry it up the tiniest bit, and the same just here. These are areas that I can already see my skin is naturally oily and glowy, call it what you will. So we're just heightening that a small amount, still with a very natural looking effect and minimal makeup, so the transfer is going to be practically non-existent. That is basically the skin done now. So next up, we're gonna put on some brow gel. I'm just gonna brush out my eyebrows so they are already primed and in the right position for this. And before we actually apply the brow gel, I'm just gonna brush as much of it off as possible around the top. We're going for minimal natural makeup look here. It's got to be in keeping with the rest of the face, playing on your skin's natural tones so it looks like you don't actually have makeup on, but you do. Okay, now I've brushed this off a little bit. I'm gonna start at the darkest part of my eyebrow and work my way down. Literally the lightest little brush. Do the same on the other side. I'm just picking up the end of my eyebrow hairs. I'm not going from the root and brushing it all the way through. I'm literally just picking up the eyebrow hairs. And now here, that is eyebrows complete also. And I've got it all over my fingers. Now I'm gonna look at the eyelids. Now, because when you've got your mask on, your main feature, obviously, that you can see are your eyes. I want my eyes to pop a little bit more. However, the rest of my skin and makeup is so naturally toned that you have got to keep this in keeping. If I were to suddenly have really bold eyes, it would show up the lack of makeup on the rest of my face. So what I've done here is just applied the yellow banana powder from the contour palette, and then I'm gonna get the lightest brown again. So I'm literally using the same shade that I've used on my face, on my eyelid, and I'm just gonna take it in the corner and lightly brush it onto my lid. We don't want it to be majorly obvious. We just want to add a little bit of colour, a little bit of shading in your crease. Again, playing on those natural shadows of your face. Now, I'm gonna get this tiny little bit of highlight here and just touch it into the corner of my eye, just to help brighten the eye a little bit. Next, I'm actually going to get some eyeliner. Again, this is just to make the most of your eyes whilst wearing this minimal amount of makeup, I'm going to put a little bit of eyeliner on my upper waterline. And I don't know whether you can particularly tell, but it just gives it a little bit of something just by darkening those corners the tiniest bit. And you can carry that down very lightly on the lower line if you would like, but you've got to be careful you don't put too much on here. I'm now actually going to touch it just up top a tiny bit and then smudge it out with my finger. It's just making your eyes pop out a tiny little bit. Now that I've done that, I'm going to get my mascara. This is a wispy mascara, so the idea behind this mascara is that it's quite natural looking anyway. I'm just going to touch the bottom of my lashes and flick it forward. Normally when you put your mascara on, you try and get as much definition and length as possible, but obviously we're trying to make this look natural so it works with the mask and is in keeping with the whole minimalist look. So to keep them looking natural, just brush them along the bottom of your lashes, because natural lashes aren't all long and defined and neat. They're a little bit messy. I'm also going to apply much more into the corner, the outer corner of my eye, compared to the inner corner, as I find that this helps emphasize your eyes more. And just do a touch here to lift your eyes, and then a little brush underneath, nothing much, like so. Here we have very natural looking eyes that still stand out a little bit. So we're on our last step now. Lipstick. The best thing you can use is a lip stain. When I apply the lip stain, I'll literally tap it on with my fingers to mess it up a little bit so it doesn't look all neat and defined. The other thing you can wear is a Superstay liquid lipstick, which is not going to budge with the mask. So that is what we're going to do today. And again, keeping with the same colours of your face, you want it to look natural. You want to nearly match your actual lip colour. I'm also going to tap my lips together more often so that it is not overly defined. We don't want anything overly defined. Really, really light application. That is the overall makeup look. The final really helpful stage is to set your face, basically. So get yourself a fluffy brush and some setting powder. You can add more literally around the area of your face that gets masked, where you want the least amount of transfer, so it makes the most sense to add the most setting powder there. Another thing you can actually do is put some setting powder in your mask, but obviously you've got to be careful because you're going to have to dust that off when you take your mask off because it does show up. Once you have applied your setting powder, obviously you can then use a setting spray. I use a Matte Fix Oil Control setting spray, which I find especially helpful with all this mask wearing. Oh, just ate a little bit of that. Whew. Obviously you want to apply any product that you can that is gonna set that makeup to your face. So yeah, there we go, it's complete. All ready to put my mask on now. This is from a full day's use. We have a touch of makeup here, we have a touch of makeup here, and a tiny little bit where my nose is, you can see, but it's really very minimal, and that shows how little it does transfer. So I hope you found this helpful. It's kind of the mix of a video of how to do a natural makeup look, as well as tips and tricks for wearing makeup and a mask. But there we go, put the two together and this is what you've got. If you enjoyed this video, please like, please subscribe, and I will see you again soon.